Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone. Welcome, and we are at the Tulsa State Fair here at the River Spirit Expo Center, Muskogee Creek Nation River Spirit Expo Center, and it's Native News Today. Jason Salzman, along with a special guest, a new gal on the program here, Miss Kyla McCown. Kyla, thanks for being with us. We're glad to have you.
Thanks for having me.
You've been with the Muskogee Nation News now as a reporter for about a month, I think,
Yeah.
and how's it been going so far? You liking
Pretty
it?
good. I
Yeah.
like it. I like all the people.
Yeah, and so we thought, hey, you know, she had a little experience with TV, bring her on Native News Today, kind of get her feet wet a little bit. So she's helping us out today, doing a great job out here. But as we stand inside the Muskogee Creek Nation booth at the fair, inside the Expo Center, lots of people coming through and lots of information here on the Muskogee Creek Nation too. As you can see, there's exhibits behind us, people doing drawings, lots of information too.
Yes,
So.
citizenship cards. You can come
Yeah.
get your new citizenship cards.
Very good.
guess.
Yeah, all kinds of
Get
things.
forms.
As we said, you got 2 TVs going with the information. Now, have you ever been to the Muskogee Creek Nation booth before at the fair?
No, I didn't know it was so big.
It's impressive, isn't it?
It is.
Got lots of stuff, lots of people interested in the information, and we have got a great show lined up for you today here from the fair. This last week, we had a bunch of bikers rumble through Altmulgee and stop out at the Dome, the Muskogee Dome at the Claude Cox Omniplex, and it was the Trail of Tears bike ride. They do it every year, so it's a big event.
Yeah, there were so many coming through.
Yeah, I know, and we had a reporter on that. It's going to be in the Muskogee Nation News, so we covered it totally all the way through. So you'll have something on that at a little bit of every outlet. We're going to be telling you about the good news going on in Iron Gate, Tulsa. They actually have a Native American committee. They really service a lot of Native American people there at Iron Gate. We'll have that. And also, another thing people want to take note of is the Affordable Care Act, Kyla. You know, it's been on a lot of people's minds this week as we've had government shutdown. So the Affordable Care Act, what it means to Muskogee Creek Nation Health, we'll talk to Seneca Smith about that. I know that you guys at the newspaper have really been covering that a lot.
Yes, we have. There's just a lot of questions. You know, people don't really know what's going to happen, especially for the Indians, I think. They don't know exactly if their care is going to be covered or... So there's just a lot of questions to be answered, I think.
And the good thing, too, is about those questions, I'm glad you asked that because they're going to be having a question and answer session at a bunch of different Indian communities. And we'll have that schedule up for you probably next week on the show to where everybody knows what's going on. You get a lot more information about that. So hope everybody's ready for the show. We are excited to be here at the fair. It's real fun being out here on location. But the first thing we're going to do as we go to our first break, Muskogee Creek Nation actually put out from us, Muskogee Media, a video from the principal chief explaining, the Creek Nation's response to the government shutdown. A lot of people wanted to see that, know what the Creek Nation, where they stand. So we're going to our first break. We'll be right back with Native News Today.
Hello. As Principal Chief of the Great Muskogee Creek Nation, I wanted to just take this time to respond to the partial shutdown of government in Washington, D.C. and how it affects the Muskogee Creek Nation. All indications are that the partial federal government shutdown is temporary. The Muskogee Creek Nation budget planning process has allowed us to be able to operate for a certain time without an immediate negative impact. The majority of our annual comprehensive budget comes from tribal funds. If the shutdown were to be long-term, our biggest concern would be for 100% federally funded programs such as elderly nutrition and others. Although there is no immediate foreseen negative impact, we will operate cautiously in a responsible manner and continue to monitor the situation in Washington on a day-by-day basis. Our immediate priority will be for client services and payroll for our employees. Since it is a partial shutdown, many essential federal programs will continue to be funded and in operation in a business-as-usual fashion, such as Head Start and health. Several of our federally funded programs are pre-funded, and drawdowns have been made in advance, such as housing and our federal roads program. The Comptroller has advised all tribal administrators to be aware, but there is no need to panic. Our nation, having just gone through the budget process ourselves, is in hopes that the congressional and executive leaders will set aside partisan politics and will resolve any difficulties that hinder the progress of this nation. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all federal government employees and their families who were furloughed or otherwise negatively impacted and face uncertainty, even if for a short period.
Pumakasam gadat, ibufanga, nage, adigat, punhayadit omega, ajayididet omis.
Diosnok, that's true. Throughout the generations, our elders have taught us to preserve, share, and more importantly, protect the abundant natural resources we have here in Oklahoma. We are the original environmentalists and protector of these resources. The Muskogee Creek Nation believes tribal and state governments must work together to ensure future generations will have clean air and clean water as the ultimate legacy. What is good for Oklahoma tribal nations is good for all Oklahomans. Remember, tribes are truly the original Oklahomans.
And welcome back to Native News Today. Jason Salzman along with Kyla McCown from the Muskogee Nation News Today. And we are going to talk next about the Affordable Care Act. A lot of people this week, it's definitely been in national headlines. It's caused a government shutdown. Yeah. So a lot of people with questions about it. And you said earlier, a lot of people really wanting to know what's in it.
Yeah. I mean, there's just, aside from, only being like a U.S. citizen, but also I think being a Creek Nation citizen, it's a lot different, and there's just a lot of questions.
And I think people are going to get those questions answered. Our health department has really done a great job being proactive in the public relations side of it, getting the information out, requesting us to come out, be an outlet that we can share it on the show, and that's exactly what we did. We went over and visited with Seneca Smith. He is the lieutenant commander and the actual secretary of health at the Muskogee Creek Nation. Mm-hmm. So Seneca is and him and the health department as a whole really clearing up a lot of the questions about the Affordable Health Care Act and what it means to Creek Nation.
The Affordable Care Act is important for Indian healthcare because it's a new source of funding. Because now there will be more individuals with health insurance than ever before, and it will assist in providing additional contract health services because of the new source of funding. Well, currently we have within our system or within the Native population, there's 23% of our patients have private insurance. About 38% of IHS patients are currently on Medicaid. And then Medicare and the VA account for a smaller portion, which is less than 10%. Approximately, we have 30% of our patients have no health care coverage than IHS. We have 38,000 users in our system, okay? Of that 38,000, we have 12,000 that are uninsured, okay? It's only the 12,000 that we have in our system, or just anywhere, the uninsured, is who the ones that will be mandated to sign up. Well, those individuals that have health insurance, and that's what's different for Native Americans is, for everyone else, they have to sign up at a certain point, and they have that one time to sign up, and they cannot change until the following year. Well, we can make changes or do whatever we need to do on a month by month. So if we don't let's say someone has a job and then they become unemployed and they need health insurance, they can sign up that next month. So they don't have to wait that whole entire year to sign up for coverage. Then there's the zero cost sharing plans for American Indians, Alaska Natives that are below the 3% federal poverty level. And what that means is that they will not have to, there will be no CHS requirement. They do not have to go through our process. They do not have to come or stay within. When you say network, or let's say our Creek Nation network, which is our facilities, they do not have to stay in that network. They can just go on their own. And however, they may also continue to stay with us. And then there's also the limited cost sharing plans with individuals that are above poverty level. And that's a little bit different. They would still kind of need to come through our system, and there is no cost sharing, but however, it's provided by ITUs through that process. The Affordable Care Act accepts American and Alaska Natives from the individual mandate penalty with the definition of American Indian Alaska Native being an enrolled member of a federally recognized tribe, evidenced by a document issued by a federally recognized tribe. And then the second is the people who are not considered Indian who are eligible for IHS as evidence through relevant documentation, such as birth certificate, adoption certificate, foster care documentation, IHS/tribal form verifying eligibility for IHS services. So what's going to happen is October 1st, we'll be mandated to do this. And as Native Americans, we're going to have a couple of options. We can wait towards the end of the year of our taxes, file with the IRS, or go out to the community, and we're also going to direct them, go to our facilities and speak to our patient benefits coordinator. And at that point in time, then they'll direct them in the right direction to go on how to get signed up. As tribes, I think we're definitely, we're very excited in Indian country because we see this as an opportunity, because we do have a lot of citizens that are uninsured, and we want to make sure that their well-being and their health is taken care of.
All right, and our next story takes us over in Altmauge, right there at home base, just a little bit down the road from us, the College of the Muskogee Nation. Kyla, it just keeps getting bigger and better, it seems like every day.
Yes, I've actually worked on a few stories for the newspaper with the College of Muskogee Nation. And it's really neat to learn just that the nation does have a college and does have a program that can really help the natives.
It's great too because we talk so much about investing in education, making higher education such an integral part of our tribe, an integral part of the platform, and that's showing it. That's not just talking about it, that's actually showing it. You drive along the loop there, you see the beautiful campus, and they do such a wonderful job with events throughout the year. We're covering it all the time. We've been there since the inception. Native News Today was in there in the planning meetings when they broke ground. Just every bit of the timeline we've been there, so it's great to do this next one. They had a Fall Fest out of the College of Muskogee Nation, sort of a welcome back, and we were very glad to be there.
This activity we're having today for our students is called the Fall Fest, and we want to welcome our students back for the new school year and give them an opportunity to interact with faculty and staff and get to know them on a non-academic basis, and so they get a chance to participate in games and activities, and then we have lots of good prizes for them. So we feel like this is a good way to have our students get to know us as individuals and tribal members, and also we're interested in who they are as students. Some of the activities we have, of course, are cultural, where we have the Lulu contest and the turkey gobble, and then also the tug of war. We have a 3-point shooting contest for girls and guys, and then we give away prizes, door prizes for students that were donated by some of our vendors, and we appreciate their gifts to us and to our students.
I'm Alyssa McMillan, and I'm a student of the College of Muskogee Nation, and I am majoring in tribal services. We're out here at Fall Fest. Fall Fest is where we just get together, like a welcome back party for all the students and faculty, play games. Right now, they're doing the dunk tank. The egg toss was my absolute favorite. Me and my best friend were in the egg toss, and I broke the egg on her leg, and she got it in my hair. I think that was like the fun part. I'm sitting out here at a booth for NASA. Actually, I'm currently running for Vice President of NASA, and we're setting up a booth to recruit people. NASA is Native American Student Association. We do a lot of fun stuff. We go on like 2 big trips. We go to like little conferences. We have like little get-togethers. We go out of state, learn about different tribes. We do a lot of stuff in Creek communities, help kids, go to the schools. The biggest fundraiser that we've ever going to put together is an all-night softball tournament held at the Creek Field. behind the Travel Plaza. I'm recruiting the new freshmen and old people. So come and join NASA, people.
All right, moving right along with our coverage here from the Tulsa State Fair in the River Spirit Expo Center. Muskogee Creek Nation well represented here at the fair. And Muskogee Creek Nation offers lots of services to its citizens. Sometimes, though, some of the citizens of tribes, they don't. They fall through the cracks a little bit with the tribal system, and they're hungry. They're jobless. They need shelter places, and that's where Iron Gate comes in Tulsa. Iron Gate in Tulsa servicing a lot of Native American guests there.
Yes, definitely.
They have a liaison as well, Kyla, that basically comes and visits Iron Gate and is there to sign them up for different services at the tribes that they may not know about. So it really is a connection for them.
Great.
Yeah, it's a connection for them, those tribal members, and that's what we did. We were invited guests up to Iron Gate, and they wanted Native News Today to come to tell the story about their Native American guests. It's a big population of them there, and they do a great job with it, and we were very, very happy to visit Iron Gate.
I think that focus and especially the intentions of the staff really make a lot of the Native Americans in the area feel especially welcome here. You know, they feel like they have a focus. You know, that they can come here and feel welcomed, and you know, I especially, you know, hope that my role is another one of those things that, you know, the Iron Gate can provide for them, just to give them an extra helping hand. A lot of these individuals just don't know, they aren't aware of a lot of the services that are available to them, that they can easily go out and get. And even if they did know those services were there, I think they'd have an extremely difficult time navigating, you know, just the systems and the processes just to obtain those needs. And you know, sometimes the shock that comes over them that they can actually have those things and help them get to a different place in life. I mean, it's been more than a few times that, you know, some of the people I've been helping have, you know, kind of been brought to tears at the joy, thinking they can, you know, obtain those things.
He knows about the benefits that we don't. That I wasn't aware of some of the benefits he's informed me about. I'm retired, and I retired in 1955. I'm a retired construction worker. I've been in Tulsa for about 40, 50 years, and I know a lot of people here.
A lot of these individuals, you know, just their life situation, really, they have like one push with these tribes to try to get something. They try to get an application in, don't hear anything, it comes back rejected, and they just feel, oh man, that's it. You know, and a lot of the documents that I've gotten back, you know, because I've always had these guys bring me the documents and stuff, see what they need to complete the application, and these are easy things with clear steps. It's just, you know, again, I don't know what it's like to be in their situation, but from the stories they tell me is I can understand why they only have one push, you know. So I'm kind of that second and third push, and I'm the one who can kind of, you know, push the application along for them when they don't have the ability or the capacity to do so, you know, because some of it's online. They don't have access to, you know, computers and the internet like, you know, like the rest of society. So that's seems like a simple step to upload an application or attach it to an email, but for them that's that could be a whole day's work for them, going different places, trying to find a place that'll let them scan a document, trying to find a place to email it. You know, when you think of it that way, it's, you know, these things really aren't that simple, and it's quite a long journey for them. But for me, obviously, I just, being my generation and stuff, I mean, I have easy access and kind of acumen to navigate these things, so I kind of just step in and do that for them.
Wasting away at Margaritaville. Well, we will be in maybe a year or so, but right now we're at the Margaritaville booth. inside the Expo Center. And that brings us to our next story. We actually were in town last week for the Trail of Tears Riding to Remember motorcycle ride coming through and stopping at Creek Nation.
Yes, that was so exciting. There were so many bikers.
Well, they start in North Carolina, they come that whole way, and it's really a way to honor the trail, remember it, and keep it on everybody's brains. You know, it's so easy to forget, it was so long ago, but it was a tragic thing, and they do it's a fun way to remember it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like we said, over 150 bikers, lots of them, ready to finally get off the bike for a minute and just relax, and they got to relax with a warm Muskogee welcome. Massey's barbecue, the whole nine. It was a really big event for them to be able to stop in and not only end the trail, but end it at a federally recognized tribe, a wonderful thing for us at the Creek Nation. Hundreds of bikes roared into Muskogee Creek Nation's capital city last week as riders reached the conclusion of the 20th anniversary Riding to Remember Trail of Tears motorcycle ride. The ride traces the roots of the removal clear back to the starting point.
Well, the journey starts out in Cherokee, North Carolina. We meet some people there. We end up riding about 100 of us to Chattanooga. There we pick up the main ride, which is held on the third Saturday of September. And we ride from there from Chattanooga all the way to Florence, Alabama. We spend the night there. And then the next morning we will continue to ride out to meet you all in Okmulgee. Usually takes us a couple days.
The riders were treated by the Creek Nation Veterans Affairs Services Office to a warm Muskogee welcome. And in Okmulgee, that welcome includes a good meal from Massey's Barbecue.
Well, this is the first time that I've participated in the Trail of Tears run. And I went down to Hot Springs yesterday evening and then spent the night and then picked them up and escorted them back to Oklahoma, basically. But it was a great ride. It was a safe ride, no accidents, and the proud OHP escorted us in the state of Oklahoma and helped go through each of the small towns without any problems.
For the riders, whether it's their first experience or they've been a part of several in the past, it's an indelible journey.
The biggest thing is the remembrance of what happened to the Indian nations. All the way back in 1838, when they were commanded to vacate their homes, and they were forced to leave their homes and their families and everything they owned and go on foot all the way to Oklahoma. And you really can't understand how it was. I mean, we get on a motorcycle, we'll make it out here in 3 days, 4 days. Those guys were getting on wagons, some of them walking for months and months and months. And not just summertime, wintertime. The hardships must have been horrendous. The hardships for the families, to lose your loved ones and you have to leave them there. You can't even bury them. It must have been just terrible for the people to come out.
I feel good when I'm on this ride because we're commemorating the Trail of Tears, which our ancestors, the Creeks, the Seminoles, the Choctaws, the Cherokees, and the Chickasaws were all part of those ancestors that were on the Trail of Tears at some point or other. So I felt great being a part of this because I was helping to retrace some of those areas that some of our people had traveled through. So by being on this run, we were adding authenticity to this run by having myself and others ride in this motorcycle ride today. And I was proud to do it.
A big part of the ride that sets it apart from others is the experience the participants feel retracing the tragedy and hardship of ancestors and Indian people that suffered every mile of the journey.
When you go through certain areas, to me, when I go over rivers, I go over a river, there's a bridge there. What did they have? They didn't have anything, probably not even a boat, and there may have been a raft or something to get them across, but I mean, the hardships just must have been terrible.
In Okmulgee for the 20th anniversary of Riding to Remember, I'm Jason Salzman, Native News Today. And we're outside here of the Expo Center as we are wrapping up the show from this week, and we've had a lot of fun. As you can tell, we've been walking around the fair, a lot of good stuff happening. The Creek Nation booth is fantastic, so much information, and we've hoped that you've enjoyed the show. I feel like we had a lot of good stories on this week.
Definitely, a lot of good stories. It was great to have it at the fair, see the big booth.
You know it, and there's all kinds of people out here from Creek Nation. Look here, John Beaver from the Muskogee Creek Nation Cultural and Tourism Center. Sir, thank you for being with us today. We had to bring you in. Sure. You look like you're having a great time out there.
Having a great time out here today.
A lot of people out at the booth, and people talking about the museum, talking about what you guys are doing, the great news there. And there's really been a lot of great things happening with y'all here lately.
We've been doing, we're happy to say, we're proud to say a lot of great things. And one of the biggest things right now is the Council House project that we're working on. Absolutely. And we have big plans for that. We have big plans for the nation, for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation, Muskogee people, and the city of Okmulgee.
What I think is so cool, John, is that all those artifacts that we were so worried about a few months back, and it was really something, it was a point of anxiousness for a lot of people around the tribe and what was going to happen. Those are back now, and I know you guys are just thrilled about that.
We're extremely thrilled about that, and just to let everyone know, they are back within the confines of the Muskogee Nation, and that was a goal. Chief Tiger had mentioned that, and we're happy to say and proud to say that we had great support in that. We've had great support from the museum community, namely the Gilcrease stepped in and helped us out with some of the planning and helped us get that back. And just to let everyone know, the Gilcrease stepped in, and it's all good. Those things won't belong to the Gilcrease; they still belong to the Muskogee Creek Nation.
Wonderful. I know that a lot of people are so happy about that, and that they're in good hands with you and Justin and your great team there. And you guys are, like I said, you're passing out information at the booth. A lot of people coming through. What's cool too, right here, River Spirit Expo Center, sponsored by Creek Nation. Our name, our brand, all over the place.
All over the place. And again, we're happy to be here, be working for the Creek Nation, and really promoting all the positive things that are happening at Creek Nation right now.
Great, man. And you're a big part of that. We want to thank you for stopping by with us, man.
Thank
you.
And
I'm not going to keep you from having fun in there. It's a lot of fun in there. Go on ahead, buddy. See you, man. All right, John Beaver with the Museum and Cultural Center here at the Muskogee Creek Nation. Kyla, just one of many people out at the Muskogee Creek Nation, including us, Tyler, Native News Today. So proud that to look up, and see our name on this big center here. And not only that, but people that aren't Creek and, from other tribes to look up and see, our brand. It's a great thing.
It really is everywhere. It's really growing, and they're really making their mark.
They are, and like we said, the booth, we have a little bit of culture there. There's ball sticks, but there's also, modern things. There's our TV show playing. We had a reel going of all the stories we've done at the tribe, the expansion, Margaritaville. I know you're excited about that. You're a big Jimmy Buffett fan, aren't you?
Oh, yes.
But Jimmy Buffett will be coming soon, so will Margaritaville, and we're excited about that, excited about all the great things going on at the fair. If you can't catch us here on CW 1219, always Facebook, Twitter, go to our YouTube channel, Native News Today. Kyla, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been great having you.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.